I've been playing Type Soul way too much recently, and it's honestly just occurred to me that there's minimal Bleach content in this game. Think about the framework that this game is literally built on. It's only very loosely tied to the source material, Bleach. I'm not saying everything about the game has to be inextricably linked to Bleach, but really, I want you to really think about it for a second. Let's look at some of the weapons that have been added to the game. We have the universals for Kido, Kendo, Speed, and Healing, and 2 Shikai exclusive weapons like the ones for Lightning and Berserk. Out of those 6 weapons, only 1 is actually based on a weapon from Bleach. And even then, it doesn't really make sense because Kenpachi Shikai Nozarashi does not look like that. I understand that the actual Nozarashi is a spec, but if you're going to add a Berserk weapon, wouldn't it be a good idea to model it off the actual weapon, the actual user of the Shikai had? It literally just doesn't make sense to me. It's not like Bleach doesn't have enough content to add. There are literally so many weapons in Bleach to pick from. Think of the Sternritter. They're based on the alphabet, which has 26 letters. That means there's 26 different characters with 26 different abilities and 26 different weapons for just Quincy's. Now, I'm a huge Bleach fan, if you couldn't tell. And I literally own every single volume of the series. I mean, every single one from volume 1 to 74. I've even read the novels like Can't Fear and World, the literal direct continuation of the series from Thousand Year Blood War, which is canon. The creator himself said so, as well as a few other novels like Spirits Are Forever With You, which are both actually good, by the way. Go read them. There's a lot of content, and I just don't understand why the devs keep adding tons and tons and tons of non-canon stuff to the game when there's leagues of actual Bleach content to choose from. I don't get it. So after thinking long and hard, I came up with at least 2 things they could consider adding to the game, which are canon to Bleach, that could maybe, just maybe, add some diversity to the game. First, hybrids. Yes, I know Peroxide added Quincy cars first, but hear me out for just a second. Whatever Ron cars could use a limited selection of Quincy abilities, or if Soul Reapers could somehow use hollow abilities, kinda like an upgraded Vizard, or if Quincy's could use Soul Reaper powers, like the literal main character of the show. Obviously nothing crazy like a Ron card using Let's and Segunda, but well thought out, balanced mixes between the races. One issue I have always had with this game is the Kido skill tree. I quite literally just dislike playing as certain races sometimes, considering they're constantly getting changed by the devs. Sometimes Arancas and Quincy's don't even feel fun, so I just go with Soul Reapers. Or when Soul Reapers feel boring, Quincy's pick up the pace. And sometimes I just feel way more drawn to one Kido skill tree than I do to another. So because of this, I literally never played Quincy Kido or Arancar Kido. Because sure, I like playing Quincy more than Arancar sometimes, but I despise how Quincy Kido plays. Yes, even after that horrific refresh that followed each and every single rank match I played like a green stink cloud. So, what if the game followed in the show's footsteps and added mixes between the two? Like Quincy cars that can use Quincy Kido, but they can't pop res anymore and have to use Volts instead. Or Quincy's that can't use Volt, but instead use Bankai like Ichigo. Or Soul Reapers that completely go down the path of a hollow, like Tosen, the blind guy, and can use res, but no Segunda. Just something that can mix up the gameplay, maybe even let them pick between the 2 factions, and based on that, they can pick a Kido skill tree. And with this, you can have other stuff, like Quincy's with a Bankai and maybe getting a whole of salvation, slight spoilers, Quincy cars getting special weapons, or Soul Reapers who can use res. Remember, Tozen did this in Karakura Town arc. Something that can mix up the gameplay so that we can have even more build variety, because in this game, 90% of the time you're just going to be seeing the exact same builds, which kind of sucks. And this is just a personal request of mine, but please can we change hair colors at the barber or Trimagami, whatever his name is. I wanted to make a Maninas build. Quincy in the Stern Rail. I rolled the McCallum clan, which is her surname, but it has blue hair, even though her hair is literally bright pink. I then decided, okay, I'll just roll for the B clan, which actually has pink hair, but instead I rolled Kurosaki, the mythical clan, and obviously I'm not going to get rid of them, so I'm willing to make it work, but it just doesn't, because they have brownish orangey hair. Please let us just pick hair color regardless of clan. I don't know why hair colors are locked behind clans when certain clans are literally objectively better than others. Hair dye exists in the real world. Okay, this is me coming back after editing. Turns out they actually added a game pass that lets you change your hair color. No idea why it had to be a game pass, but it's better than nothing. And secondly, lastly, most importantly, please, pretty please, can the devs add full boosts? I know that they said they'd only even consider adding new races when the current ones feel more complete and fleshed out, and they weren't at the time. But let's really think about this. They're adding True Bonkai, Segunda, and Sclaverai for Quincy's, literally adding the final stage of transformation for each race. Each race has a lot of skills in their respective Kido trees, has at least 3 variants for their respective true forms, has at least 10 rollable Shikais, Volts, or Reses, which quite literally makes them very, very close to complete. I don't know how more complete you get from there. And the races clearly aren't insanely unbalanced, seeing as 2 of the literal head devs argued with each other for ages whether Soul Reapers or Quincy's are better, and Arankas occasionally got mentioned. All of the races have a lot of content, so I don't see what else will be added except new elements or weapons, which doesn't do that much for the race as a whole. Adding a new race, Fullbringers, not only adds a completely new facet to progression, which seems to have been completely forgotten by the way, but we get a whole new Kido tree, new universals, new features like Hero or Blute, new skills like Sanct Swinger or Grand Ray, new clans, new elements, and a whole new faction to fight against in raids, which mixes up the entire game. Sure, that wouldn't all be dropped at once, but it's still something. Newer Bleach games like Reaper 2, Peroxide, and Project Mugetsus are all starting to add Fullbringers, and I'd hate for Type Soul to fall behind, because when you look at them, they're actually an interesting race. I mentioned hybrids before, but Fullbringers really got that built in them. I just think they could actually breathe new life into the game without compromising or taking away from it, because they're unique enough to function on their own. Just my thoughts though.